everything looks like it's streaming good. Wonderful. Yeah, I think we're doing good on this. So we're attacking here. Oh, interesting. Okay, this was an interesting game I played. Here I ended up not making it, but we're still going to go over it and we're going to analyze each move to make sure that it's and go over what went wrong. So that's why you got to treasure your victories and learn from your losses. And so we're going to learn from one of my losses. Let's do it. You can't win every game. That's you can get good and almost do that, but you're gonna lose some, and that's how you improve, is to find out how it happened. Let's see here. So black checkmated. So I'm white. Hey, knight c3, bishop f4. Still good. I'm wondering if potentially bishop d3 wasn't a better continuation, and then if c5, then you take, and after bishop takes, then you play knight e2. That could have been an idea. So knight e2, castles, and then a6, bishop d. At this point, I gotta see what actually is what they. Okay, so they liked a3 here. What if what if playing castles happens? Okay. What if yeah, like that? That's what I was thinking. And then takes, and then takes, and then do you play knight? Is it knight e? So I took right. So I took right. Queen takes. Knight there. Not bad. Takes. Knight takes. And then so equal. So this was the tide turner. That stops it stops the bishop from taking advantage there, and then now I can excuse me, now I can play h4, and after that now you come back here, and then after takes you take with your knight, and you have a really wonderful outpost. And this bishop has no scope whatsoever. Nothing. No scope because of this pawn here. I pushed there, I did it right, but then one thing I did was I took too soon. I took there. I played rook, which is okay, and then he played there. I took, and that was actually a mistake. Right, this is actually the best continuation. And after check, you take. There. Then you take. And then takes. You're up a whole pawn. So takes there. let's actually check. Mate. Yeah, so I'll show you one though that I was able to win on. This is a better one, and I'll show you. So one thing we could though take, oops, wrong one, from this is there's a critical, there we go, right, not, yeah, there's good. So I have to be on, okay, so that's interesting, this part right here. This is fine. He retreats back. This is a vital move. And then after playing there, oops, yeah, you can't do that yet. Oops, where did I? Right here. H4. That was not the, yeah. At this point, if they try to break like this, so if you have this formation, you have a pawn onslaught like that, and then they push. Remember to retreat. Oh wow, so taking was okay there. I'm curious just to let it analyze all the way out. Interesting. But there was another line here. If this here, you do have this. This is kind of interesting because then they take and then you take here and you have a draw. This is what I was talking about. How outposts, you do have this. Your king is a little vulnerable, but if you can get these two soldiers going down the board, you're good. Okay, we'll do this one here. And then E4, this, I just control and dominate the center. Do you see how F6, I tap the knight, I pin the knight, and then there, takes, and then this was an interesting, after taking there, I played knight takes. I was thinking about taking here, but the only problem is he's got there. I do get 2 pawns, but not enough compensation because there. And then I could support it like that, but I went more towards the idea of a forking idea. So like if our opponent were to take there, what my opponent did was actually take on E4, which looks like it attacks the H1 rook and also attacks the C6. It does, but there's one move that will handle that, and if I'll give you a second you can stop and take a look to think, you're white here, what move would handle and take advantage of that and basically win. It's kind of a longer variation. You have to look into this, so you'd have to just stop for a little bit, take a look. Well, if you were talking about knight takes c7 check, you were right. This is actually a really strong continuation. And if the king has to come to f7 first foremost, and then you have to decide: do I want to take the pawn, and then do I want to take here, allow the bishop to come back and grab it, and then move my rook? Or is there something more? Okay, I saw one move further. I took here on a8. I allowed my opponent to take on h1, and then I played c7. This works because of one reason. There's no way for the bishop to get back in time. The queening will happen. And I calculated that potentially the best would have been taken here, and my knight would have still come out. I would have been a rook up. But in this other line, I ended up becoming a queen up. And then e6. I brought in the knight to take advantage of these 2 points and threaten. The threat is queen checkmate. So these 2 points are guarded by the knight, and this would be checkmate there. So knight e7 were played. I played first queen e8 check. Then I took knight takes. So the only move that the king could play is king h7. And then what I did at this point, which was a vital move to set up for mate 3, I played rook d8. And at that point he played bishop to attack my queen. So then I checked here. He had to retreat back because all this was covered. And then the knight and the rook delivered mate. And then we'll go over this line here too. A6, d4, d5, c5, there. This is the old main line, this is the modern line. This is the old main line. The only problem with the old main line is a2, and if bishop takes, then you actually take there, so you're winning. This is more flexible. This right here is actually a slight mistake here. You can actually counter that with f6. And then if b5 or b4 happens, you can actually take. If knight takes, pawn takes, and then queen c7 with an idea. And if that gets played, then you can actually challenge a5 here. Really an interesting line. So like if we tried bishop after queen c, bishop, we then could actually play knight to e6, and potentially we probably want to put the knight on g6. So that's why bishop there, and then now actually we have a knight move, knight to F, which is a good move too. So white castles, and the bishop now is attacking, and the queen is attacking. So rook comes over to guard. We castle, now we're attacking this rook, so the bishop has to retreat back. A5 is a loosening move, so the takes, queen takes, and rook A, and then now we get majority attack with on here, so rook slides over, and now we're guarding double. And this threatens mate, so queen comes in, and the knight. Is it better as this move? Or is it better? Pushing on. They take into draw. Now you get the king involved. it's harder to make a breakthrough here. We'll watch somebody play really quick on here. Then we could even talk about, oops. Let's try rapid. Okay, let's see what we got. So they played rook e2. The idea might be to double up on rook a e1. You gotta ask yourself, what was White's idea here? Of course, you saw rook e8, e5 to take advantage of the weak pawn here, so White shut that down with that play. But g3 and Black's, and then once Black moved here, gotta ask what Black's thing was an attack here. And so that the rook could actually move to e5, White pushed g3. Or e5, yeah. And so now we push. He's trying to go for actually a mate. I believe it's not mate yet, but it's getting really close with the rook coming in. So you have to ask, what's the threat? So the king probably, yeah, the best move is getting the king so that that's covered. And now you have an idea of potentially, yep, bishop there to take scope there. So now the rook's guarding. And now you have potential check. Interesting. He'll take. So actually shocked that Black didn't play this. That move. That move there. How do I make yellow? I can make blue. I can make red. I can make green. I'm not sure how to make yellow. I'll have to figure that out. F5, king there. Black's in hold mode. Potentially he's got a rook here. And then the king comes up, he could potentially play bishop and keep this idea alive here for the rook. Bishop b5 is going to be the next move. Or maybe bishop f7. Almost mate. Always going for a queen. I would have been tempted to